Well, critics had mixed reviews of President Obama's State of the Union address, but what about the actual audience, the American people? Frank Luntz, it's his job to find those answers. He's a pollster and Fox News contributor and joins us this morning with brand new dials. So last night, a lot of movement, probably up and down as we saw those polls. I want to bring you to the first one. The president made a controversial statement on climate change. Take a listen to this.
But the debate is settled. Climate change is a fact. And when our children's children look us in the eye and ask if we did all we could to leave them a safer, more stable world with new sources of energy, I want us to be able to say, yes, we did.
Off the charts among Democrats, not so favorable among Republicans. If you voted for Mitt Romney, you believe that the science is settled. If you voted for Barack Obama, you do. This is one of those typical partisan issues where you stand depends on where you sit.
Interesting. Let me ask you about another one. One of the most dramatic changes came when the president actually first mentioned health care, I believe about 40 minutes in. Take a listen.
One last point on financial security. For decades, few things exposed hardworking families to economic hardship more than a broken health care system. And in case you haven't heard, we're in the process of fixing that.
Whoa.
Now, if it just run a couple more seconds, you would have seen the collapse among Democrats and Republicans. There's one thing in Washington that transcends all the partisan politics.
We're seeing what you're talking about now.
Which is nobody thinks this health care program is working. Nobody thinks the rollout was effective. Nobody believes in the policies. They simply don't trust the president. So even though he repeats it again and again, the American people have said this is not the health care plan that I was promised. The president did not keep his promises.
That would have been an expected or projected split.
Yes, the Democrats should have gone up, and that shows you how powerful people feel about the mistakes that have happened in this rollout. My surprise about the whole speech is that Democrats didn't like it as much as I would have expected, and Republicans didn't hate it as much as I would have expected. It was somewhere in the middle for everybody.
Okay, so perhaps a win then when it comes to the overall outcome. You also asked viewers for their opinion on the president's plan to use executive order to get things done. Take a look.
America does not stand still, and neither will I. So wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation to expand opportunity for more American families, that's what I'm going to do.
You almost needed a couple more lines to take care of that split there.
And it was as though Republicans and Democrats were breaking the dials in the other direction. It is frightening for half of America to think that this president could ignore Congress and do just what he wanted without any kind of checks and balances. And for the other side, for the Democratic side, they're tired of Congress standing in the president's way. They want him to be able to get the policies through. So that was an example of this really, really sharp partisan divide that accurately reflects where America is right now.
Well, and that one could also change, could be flipped into that reverse depending on who's in office.
Exactly. So you'd have Republicans, when Reagan would do something similar, you had Republicans cheering him and Democrats booing. The consequence of this speech will not be significant except for one aspect, which is these divisions that exist in America today will be even greater tomorrow because of what was said in that speech.
Wow. Frank Luntz, we always love when you bring us the real details and
Pleasure.
breakdown. Thank you.